Welcome to I Say Yes and with Alicia Larson, the podcast where we dive into all things spiritual and watch as we grow as humans and expand as the powerful spiritual beings we know we are. Let's dive in. Welcome back to I Say Yes and with Alicia Larson. I'm Alicia and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Today we are going to dive into acknowledging your journey and then feeling the love. Okay, let's all admit it. We all have a past. We all have things in our life that were painful and traumatizing, and we all have things that we wish never happened or mistakes we made that we wish didn't take place. Decisions we made, people we were with, whatever the case may be. We all have that in our background. And so many times when we think about our journey and where we are, we look at it in regret and shame and pain. And that can be so stifling for what's coming into our life next. But what would happen if we look at our journey for what it was? First off, your journey is what brought you here today. Your journey is what brought you here to this podcast where you are saying yes and to yourself. You're stepping into your power. You're saying, I know that I'm meant for greatness. And I say yes to this. And if you hadn't gone through your journey, who knows where you would be right now? Just because in your mind at times you may think, you know what, if I didn't have that painful mistake or that painful experience, it doesn't mean your life would be any better. Honestly, it probably means that another situation would have come, and how would you have reacted to it? How would you have worked through that process? And here's the beautiful thing about your journey. No two journeys are exactly alike, because even if they are extremely similar, you are your own person with your own perspective of life and the circumstances. For example, if you ask me about my childhood, I would tell you that it was pretty beautiful childhood. And my sister would look at you and say, well, it was great, but, mom and dad were really strict. And I don't have that perspective. Is that the difference between her being the older and I'm the younger? That very well could be. But the point is, we lived the same experience in the same house for years. Yet, our perspective of the situation and the place and the circumstances is completely different. Because her experience is her experience and mine is mine, and that's beautiful. And they don't have to be the same, but them not being the same is the reason and a point for our uniqueness. And our uniqueness is really what sets us apart from everyone else in the world. I know we've all heard people talk about if everyone was the same, this world would be so boring. And it's true. And also we would be missing that special thing that only you can bring into this world. And I don't know what that may be for you. I could probably connect in and guide us to that answer. But so many people are listening to this podcast. This podcast is going to be such a stepping stone for so many people to reflect and to open up and say yes. And so, first off, let's just acknowledge that your journey is your beautiful journey, because that brought you here today. And so right now, as you're with me, we're just going to do a quick acknowledgement statement. let's take a deep breath and repeat after me. I acknowledge the journey that led me here today. And I acknowledge that my journey is my journey, and there is beauty in that. Just take a deep breath and allow that acknowledgement to seep into your being. There is power in acknowledging who and what you are. And as we progress into this journey of ours, the next thing that I want to walk you through is what would happen if we sent nothing but love to those pain moments in our life. What would happen if we sent love to the memory that we hold of a mistake we made, a regret we have, a painful experience? Well, what would happen is love is the ultimate healer. Love can shift so much and in such a beautiful way. And it doesn't have to be, when we look at our journey, like through therapy, for example, pain can be something that really gets drilled in. And there is this almost applause you get when you really allow yourself to just feel that pain. Well, I don't know if you're like me, but then at the end of that therapy session, you're left feeling that pain because there's no quick resolution to painful situations in the human world, at least throughout my therapy experiences. And so when we send love there, that can be the healing tool that we have within ourselves, to no longer look at that as the painful experience that it is that's holding me back. That is no longer the story that I'm leading with in my life. Instead, I'm leading with, you know what, I went through some things, but guess what? I'm here today. And how lucky are you, and how lucky am I that I get to say that? And so when I like to send love to those precious memories that I have, even if it's something silly like that first date that I agreed to go on with that one person that shall remain nameless, but it was not a good situation. But what happens when we sit in our power, we connect in with our soul, and we say, soul, send love to that memory of, and then insert your memory. So it'll look like this. Soul, send love to the part of me experiencing the decision of regret with that first date. And take a breath and allow yourself to just sit there in that moment. But know that there is love going to that point of time. There is love going from you here right now to you then right there. And that's beautiful. And that's something not a lot of people talk about. And so if you're going with this episode and you're thinking about all of these experiences, you only need to take a few moments. It doesn't have to be this 55-minute journey of pain. It can just be like, let's send love to little Alicia, who missed the school bus and had to call her grandma. And she felt like an idiot because the weather was bad and she needed a ride to school. So she called her grandma for the ride. Let's send her some love. Because our past is our past. We don't need to change and alter. What we can do, though, is send love there. And that love is the game changer. Thank you for joining me on this episode of I Say Yes And with Alicia Larson. I hope you feel inspired and empowered to embrace your inner power and manifest the life you desire. Remember, the journey to self-discovery and empowerment is ongoing, and I'm here with you every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us reach more souls ready to say yes to their own potential. Don't forget to follow me on social media for more insights, inspiration, and updates on upcoming episodes. Together, we can create a community of empowered individuals living their dream lives. Until next time, keep saying yes to yourself, yes to your dreams, and yes to the power within you. Stay magical and keep shining your light.